Right troops, we are back on another adventure today. We've got Steph here.
Alright.
And we've got my brother Peter. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, Peter, Scott's brother, fellow Geordie Rambler, and here to show you around the delightful Holy Island of Lindisfarne.
Aye, so before we get started, honestly, what have we just seen there, man? We've just been crossing the causeway, because Holy Island's like its own sort of island off Northumberland. And we've just seen like deer, haven't we? Just two deer just completely like running across the sand. We've got some unbelievable footage of it. Like Steph jumped out the van.
I got shoved out more like.
Oh, you'd her out. It was like go and get some footage of that. So you didn't have your coat on, did you?
No, it was bloody freezing. What an experience! And then I had to run back. I've not run in about 10 years.
Oh, it was a right pickle. Like we couldn't turn in the road because obviously it's one way. So we left that like halfway and we had to drive to the parking area.
It didn't come back for us.
Oh, so but you got some Bella footage, like, so we'll get that uploaded on the video. Unbelievable. So lucky to see that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Absolutely class.
What a way to end 2023.
Oh, New Year's Eve, Holy Island.
Let's
unbelievable.
Go.
Well, that's only one of the special things that you'll see today, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, much more to come. This is the car park. Gets proper busy, like as you can imagine. So loads of cars. It's about 12:30 now, but it depends, doesn't it? Because it's completely dependent on causeway times, tide crossing times as to how busy it's going to be. So
an important thing before you visit: make sure you check the tide times on the Northumberland County Council website, because you don't want to get stuck on the causeway.
Aye, and they change literally every day, so it could be 8 o'clock till 2 o'clock one day, and then it could be 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock the next day, so completely dependent on when the tide's going to come in. So as he says, make sure you check the Northumberland County Council
website, and we'll put a link in the description.
Aye.
So as you can see, we've got Lindisfarne Castle here in the background. This is one of the most historical areas in the world, and one of the founding areas of Celtic Christianity. So it's quite timely that we're here at Christmas time. We've got an absolutely stunning day today, and we'll have a little mosey down to the castle so you can see it a bit more clearly, and we'll also take you around the Priory and around some of the other hidden gems on this beautiful island. So stay tuned.
Just as we're walking as well, like you'll see loads of little holiday lets like this. Like we've got one called Castle View here. The island itself is just absolutely littered with like cottages and holiday lets and little places that you can come and stay. Really quirky places, and it's just absolutely lush. Like I've stayed here as well on a weekend, and to be honest, Holy Island's one of my favourite places. Not just in Northumberland, not just in the UK, but actually in the world. And I know people can come here and get married, and it's just such a picturesque place to come and visit. So just walking down the road here, and you can see the first sight of Lindisfarne Castle in the distance. But a lovely, lovely day. It's freezing cold, but it looks like a summer's day. We've got really good visibility, so hoping to get some good shots of it that we can show you at the end of the video. We jumped out of bed this morning, we haven't had an out to eat, just to try and get the causeway like for the crossing time. And little Steph here is absolutely starving, aren't you?
So does anybody know any good chippies or anywhere to eat? I'm bloody hungry, starving.
She's looking for a good chippy on Holy Island.
1 o'clock.
Aye, it's 1 o'clock, like we've had no brekkie. We jumped into bed, drove straight here. but obviously it's New Year's Eve, so I don't even know if anywhere's open. Our bellies are rumbling, aren't they?
So if anyone knows anywhere good for food, drop it in the comments for other visitors.
Yeah.
If you know any good scran places on Holy Island, let me know. When you come to visit Holy Island, you'll notice these upside down herring boats, and there's loads of them. So as I go along, you can see here, and it's kind of cool what they've done to them. Like you can see with this one here, these are old herring boats that are now disused. They've obviously like need repaired, or they've broken down over time. But you can see this one here, what they've done is they've flipped them upside down rather than just getting rid of them completely, and they've put a door on the front with a padlock, and now they use these herring boats as storage. So I don't know whether it's just full of like fishing stuff or any sort of storage. So they're almost used as like sheds on Holy Island itself now, which is dead cool, and it's become really famous for these herring boats. You can see here you've got like a danger fragile roof, because obviously they're not sort of well built anymore. Obviously they've fell into sort of disuse really over the years, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's absolutely loads of them. But when you come to Holy Island, it's become really famous for having these disused herring boats, and it just becomes a real focal point for pictures. Obviously you can stand there, get a really nice picture of the upside down herring boat, and in the distance there, in the far distance, you've got Lindisfarne Castle as a backdrop, and it just makes for an absolutely lovely picture. So not sure how many viewers are aware, but like I mentioned in one of the previous videos, like me and my brother are really into history, and this is probably one of the most historic places, not just in Northumberland but in the whole of Britain itself. In Lindisfarne, or this sort of Holy Island area, was really famous for being this early settlement for Christianity, and this is where monks resided way back in the day.
You had Saint Aidan and Saint Cuthbert, who are very famous figures in spreading the word of Christianity throughout England and throughout Western Europe. And this was where they authored the Lindisfarne Gospels, which is one of the most famous Christianity manuscripts, and you can see it on I think it's displayed at Durham Cathedral at the moment. But imagine being one of those early monks when the Vikings did raid, and how frightened they must have been.
So just as we're looking out there onto the coastline, as my brother says, imagine Vikings coming in here, man, way back in those days, and you're just sort of a monk, a very religious person, you know, you're not into battles or anything like that, and you can just see the Viking ships coming in. How scary that must have been, man, for the monks that were fleeing. As Pierre mentioned before, obviously this was really famous for monks, and one of those monks that was really famous, he's attributed with founding Christianity as well within this area, was Saint Cuthbert. Every year now, earlier in the video you'll have seen we drive across the causeway when the tide was out, and every year there's almost a pilgrimage, isn't there? Yeah, across that causeway, where people they'll walk from Holy Island across the causeway and try and almost retrace St Cuthbert's steps that were done when obviously the Vikings invaded.
All the way to Durham Cathedral, where it's rumoured that St Cuthbert's remains are buried. And on the way, legend has it that St Cuthbert, the people carrying his remains, stayed at a cave just outside of Morpeth, and I'm sure that we'll do another video on that at some point.
Aye, so obviously you've got a really famous cave called St Cuthbert's Cave, and that's apparently where the monks carried St Cuthbert's body, and he was kept there for I don't know how long, but we'll do another video on it because we went and visited it last year, and it's dead cool, the place, and it's still got like inscriptions in, hasn't it, from when the monks stayed there, from like 1600s, 1500s. And obviously what they've done is they've grabbed a stone and they've tried to put the names in and maybe some memorable sort of phrases or lines within the cave itself where his body was laid to rest. And you can just imagine, like, it's probably, I don't know, 20-30 miles from here, but there was no cars back in the day and they had to walk carrying his body, so it just goes to show how much of an important figure he was in early Christianity, that they carried his body that far and put it into a cave. just as we're walking around these old boats, Holy Island itself is dead famous for fishing. The community is really famous for lobster pots, herring fishing, cod, and you get even the smells when you come on the island. You can really smell the strong smell of fish, which shows just how much fishing's been done here and continues to be done here to this day. And in the distance over there, obviously I'll walk along, you can see all of the lobster pots, so there's absolutely hundreds of them, which just goes to show again how important the fishing business and trade is on this island, for bringing money in to the local community. So you can see here how many lobster pots we've got, and this is only like a subset of them. You've got them over there, here, and they go all the way around the island. This is a really cool one as well. So earlier in the video I mentioned around how they turned the boats upside down, the old herring boats, but this one's like dead picturesque. So if you ever come in here, you could stand here, get an unreal photo of this herring boat with Lindisfarne Castle in the background, and it makes for just a dead cool photo. Obviously it doesn't look as good on the GoPro because we're quite limited in the pixels, but if you had a good camera you can get a really cool shot of that on a good day. We used to come here, didn't we? All the time, like
more youngins.
Our father used to take us to Holy Island all the time, and I remember he once got stuck, didn't he? He was driving out and he didn't check the tide times, and completely knackered his car, didn't he? He got stuck in the middle of the tide, and we had to swim back. So don't do that. Like, I wouldn't recommend that, kids. So make sure you check the tide times that my brother mentioned on the website earlier. Otherwise you're gonna get stuck and it'll knock your car.
But back in them days, Holy Island was a bit of a hidden gem. You didn't really get as many people visiting as you do now, but I think it definitely has been discovered, and you'll see a lot more people here like today.
Aye, exactly. It doesn't really matter what time you come here. Like on some other videos I say get here early, but you're kind of limited on the tide times really, so there's always like a backlog of cars waiting to get over for the tide, in that sort of like time scale or period that you've got to work with throughout the day. So just come and enjoy it, and it's dead family friendly, like I say, and it's just a beautiful place. You've got Lindisfarne Castle there, and on a good day you can see in the distance over there you've got Bamborough Castle just to the left. It's got a little dog gnashing about as well. It's absolutely lush, man.
Look at them views, man. What a day it is. It wasn't even forecast for this fella. It's unreal. Definitely came on a busy day though, so many people. Just taking it all in.
Oh aye, there, doing a little dance with its legs. We'll have to put him back.
I'll put him straight back.
But he's a little smasher, isn't he? Not a bad place to live, is it, son? Well, that is your back garden. Just dropping the little fella back in the sea. Look at that, man. Bamborough Castle in the distance over there. And the sun just beginning to set. Beautiful.
So now we've been to Lindisfarne Castle. We're on a mission for some food. Because we're starving still.
Jesus Christ.
Where are we going to go?
Well, I don't know. There's nowhere to go.
No, well, I think there is, but
Scott's so hungry that them sheep over there might get it.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
so we're just heading back to the car now, but we're going to quickly pop into the Priory Museum. So we'll just show you around there.
St Cuthbert's Way, that's like the pilgrimage that we talked about earlier on, and It says here, St Cuthbert's life and work provided inspiration for the 62 miles long distance walking route from Melrose to Holy Island of Lindisfarne. And this just tells you a little bit about his life and why he was such a positive influence on Christianity back in that day. And apparently it's a beautiful walk. If you focus on this part here, you can see St Cuthbert's Cave. Me and my brother talked around this earlier in the video, and this is where his body was laid to rest for a long amount of years before obviously he ended up in Durham Cathedral, where legend has it that he rests to this very day. Just over here as well, you've got St Oswald's Way, and this is just talking around some more beautiful places to go and visit in Northumberland. We'll do a video on these, but you've got Bamborough Castle. This is probably one of the most famous castles in all of Northumberland, and I think that some movies, maybe Harry Potter and a few others, did videos here for the films. Then you've got here Alnwick District Council, you've got Howick, you've got the River Coquette, and then you've got Havenfield. But we'll do videos on all of these over the coming months and take you on a journey with us. We've went and lost the battery on the GoPro, so we've had to switch to the phone. So if the YouTube video doesn't look as good, it's because we've got the phone out now. But we'll see. So you can see here, you've got the statue of St Aidan, and they're actually trying to raise some money for it. It's obviously fell into disrepair. We need to raise approximately 10 grand to cover off the restoration of the statue, to continue to be an icon for Holy Island. So if you've got any money to spare and you want to help the restoration of the statue, feel free to donate. Just shows you how popular this place is. Like, you've got people visiting from Brazil, look at all them people from different parts of America, all over Europe. Each of these is a pin where persons come from. India, quite a few people. Thailand, Malaysia. Not many from Russia, like. Inside the church as well, you've got this statue which resembles the monks carrying St Cuthbert's body. This is quite a cool fact. So you've got the Petting Stone, which stands between these two churches here. Obviously you've got the really old church and what's left of it, the remains, and then you've got the newer church. But you can see here you've got a bride on a wedding day. Looks like quite an old photo, and that was taken over here on the Petting Stone. And it's essentially an Anglo-Saxon tradition and custom that the bride on a wedding day would step over the Petting Stone, sort of bring happiness and fertility into the marriage. So we'll go over there and have a little look at the Petting Stone. So you can see down here, this is the Petting Stone, and this is where brides will jump off on the wedding day. So Steph,
Here I am.
if you're lucky enough,
Today's the day.
if you're lucky enough to marry the Rambler on Holy Island, you'll have to do a little jump. Look at that, getting that practice in, man. Wouldn't fancy doing that in heels. We'll have to get out some Crocs on the wedding day.
We're gonna arrange that.
Right, so we're just where's Peter? We're just heading back to the car now. Great day exploring Holy Island.
I'm having to do this bit on the phone because the battery on the GoPro's run out because we've been talking too much Marmite.
Well, I've been on for too long.
Waffling far too much. Anything to add, Steph?
Enjoy your New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I hope 2024 brings loads of adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Back to work on Tuesday, but we'll be adventuring next weekend.
Aye, we'll be out every weekend, and obviously it goes without saying, but make sure you like and subscribe and comment, because we're new to the YouTube and any support that we can get would be appreciated.
See you in the new year.